Have you ever felt ashamed of what you do? So much so that you kind of change when people say, well, what do you do for a living? And instead of saying roofing sales or door-to-door sales, you say something like, I'm in-home sales or home services. I did that a lot because I didn't feel like I belonged. I didn't feel like I was part of this industry. And in fact, I didn't want to be because I didn't want homeowners to categorize me in the same way that they do door-to-door salespeople. And I didn't want to be categorized in the same group of snake contractors that they saw about on the news. And if you want to know what that looks like, just open Google and Google the words roofer news, and you'll see all the articles. People going to jail, injuries, OSHA violations, scams, and arrests. And this is what homeowners think of when they think of roofers. And then there was other roofers, and I didn't feel like I fit in with them either. I'm a small statured, gentle man that really geeks out on sales, but also giving people, making sales through a we experience, a togetherness, through a really powerful engagement, through guiding someone through the natural process that I know that they're going to go through psychologically to create an enjoyable experience that earns the sale as opposed to winning it or closing, which is this aggressive taking thing. So I felt lost, I felt lonely, and I didn't feel a sense of pride. And what I later began to learn is that this negative self-talk about hey, you don't fit in, you don't belong, you're not proud of what you do, it truly was a ceiling to my income. And to date, now that I've had the opportunity to work with tens of thousands of roofing salespeople, all of the top earners, which I'll categorize at 300,000 of income or more, all of them are proud of what they do, and they scream it from the mountaintops. And I wasn't there. So this video is not for them. It's for the folks who are on that journey. And believe me, I've gone through this many times, and I do hope it helps. That's what I want to break down on today's episode of Sales Talk Over Coffee. Except today, we're drinking tea because it's after lunch, and I've already had 4 espressos, so let's get to it. Quick welcome back. My name is Adam Bensman, the Roof Strategist, and everything I do here is designed to help you and your team smash your income goal and give every customer an amazing experience. And if you're not already in my new free training center, click the link, you can get in there, or text the word free to 303-222-7133. All right. I want to talk about this from 3 angles. I want to talk about the real experiences that we go through in roofing sales from 3 perspectives. Number 1 is our self-talk. So I got a wonky pinky, broke it in a mountain bike accident, and it's still all messed up. Number 2 is what we say to our customers. And then number 3 is how we fit into the industry at large. So let's hit with number 1. Number 1 is our self-talk and our narrative. And if we, in one shoulder, we flip-flop, and I'm going to just do the devil and the angel for a minute. The devil's like, you're a scumbag, you're in roofing sales, why are you doing this? You should go get another job. And the angel's like, but I'm a good guy, I do everything right, I help homeowners through the process. And the devil's like, you're a scumbag, they all think you are, you really got to prove yourself. Oh man, I don't want to be categorized into those guys, do I really want to be doing this? And this little thing goes back and forth, the devil, the angel, the devil, the angel. I started to side more and more with the devil because I started to view myself out of fear, which is funny. It was like the metaphorical, I'm on a sheet of ice, car is spinning out of control, I'm going straight towards a tree. And the first thing you're supposed to do is look to where you want to go, not where you're going. And you're staring right at that tree. It's happening, slow motion, and you crash into it. And that same thing started happening with my own internal narrative. I would start to shy away when people say, what do you do? I'm in-home sales. What do you do? I'm in home services. I never said what I actually do. I never said with pride, hey, what do you do for a living? You know what? I help homeowners through one of the most painful, boring processes of their entire life that they absolutely need to go through. And I brought humor to it. And they're like, well, what's that? I said, replace their roof. Or when they say, hey, what do you do for a living? Hey, I help homeowners replace their roof after storm damage. And I make the process incredibly easy, painful, and quite frankly, fun. And anytime people would ask, I started to learn how to just communicate with passion and excitement. And the mindset shift that I want to share with you is to go from this mindset, the devil mindset of looking at it how other people do and being afraid of being judged from that perspective, to instead looking at it through my lens and just sharing my experience. So not having to, from the devil's perspective, communicate, hey, I know that roofers have a horrible reputation and I'm like a light in the darkness. I used to do all this garbage and just try to tell everyone that everything's horrible and I'm a golden child. And it was kind of pathetic. And instead, I didn't address the other stuff. I just let my actions show it. And I was proud. Hey, what do you do for a living? I help homeowners get their roof replaced after storm damage. What do you do for a living? I help homeowners go through the most expensive and boring process they're ever going to have to go through on their home. And people say, what's that? Replace the roof. Because it brings humor. We have some fun, and it's true. So again, that mindset shift is to not listen to what that narrative is out of fear of how you're being perceived, and instead share with people how you wish to be perceived. That is where that confidence comes from. So that is number one, is your internal dialogue. You have to get this right before number two, you communicate it to customers, which I started to share with before. And I encourage you to write your elevator pitch. You don't tell people, what do you do? I'm in roofing sales. You need to share the who, what, and why. Who are you? What do you do? And why do you do it? Hey, my name's Adam. Who? What do you do? I help homeowners replace their roof. Why? Because the experience is miserable and I make it fun. Right? You can run with that in a variety of different perspectives. Who are you? Hey, my name's Adam. What do you do? I help homeowners navigate the insurance process to get their roof replaced. Why do you do it? Because that process is overwhelming, confusing, and I make sure folks get taken care of the right way. And again, there's a million ways that you can spin that. So grab a piece of paper, write it down. All right, so we covered your internal dialogue and we covered how you communicate, but now I want to talk about the third one, is the sense of belonging and fitting in the roofing industry. Now, first, it doesn't matter, but I know it does because that's what keeps us driven and happy. Now, whether you agree with it or not, the author of the book, The Courage to Be Disliked, highly recommend you read that one, by the way. Loved it. Get it on Audible if you can. The narration of the philosopher and the youth is what the characters are. They have this philosophy conversation, and it's really powerful. And the author says that happiness is linked to one's sense of being useful or community feeling, in quotes. Community feeling is feeling part of something. And someone's happiness level, according to this Adlerian psychology perspective, is being of use to someone. Being of use is helping them through the process. So every single customer that you've helped through the process, you're of use to. So that's one piece, that sense of belonging because you're part of a community. We are providing an essential service. I mean, our own government called it an essential service during the whole stuff in 2020 when everything shut down, we could continue to operate. So I want to highlight the analytical part. We're of use to other people, which means we belong. But I know that it's not, the buck doesn't stop there. You might feel like an odd duck, an outcast, different from others. I did another video, Are You Too Blank for roofing sales? Old, young, black, white, skin color, this, that, tall, short, fat, skinny, ex-con, felon, doesn't matter. The belonging sense in roofing sales, and this has been the fun part, this has been like a really big privilege that I've had in this role, the roof strategist, speaking at events and communicating with thousands and thousands and thousands of folks, is realizing that like everybody is going through the same thing. Everybody is dealing with the same inner battles and demons. Even the folks that don't want to talk about it, they deal with rejection. They are afraid of rejection. They have difficult days. They wake up at 3 a.m. with their mind racing also about all the stuff they need to do. We just talked about this on an episode, in a session of the Pitch Pro movement. And during that live session, one of our members said, hey, I'm really struggling to wake up at 4 a.m. I said, drop in the chat the number 1 if this happens to you. And the chat was filled. And the person in the movement said, wow, I'm really glad I'm not alone. I'm like, I knew that, but you needed to hear that for yourself. You needed to see that you, my friend, are not alone. The waking up in the middle of the night with your mind racing, completely normal. The challenge of wanting to quit, kind of on the regular, very normal. The struggle with your personal life, you're going through a breakup or a divorce or something horrible with the family, and you have to turn and put a smile on for a customer while you just got a phone call that a crew left a bottle of pee at the job site, and then this customer called yelling because something went wrong, and you're like, I just want this day to be done. How's everything? Great! And you just got to put a smile on. Totally normal. There is something that unites us collectively through this experience, and it's almost like we've all been in the trenches together. And that sense of belonging extends beyond every type of person, your background. Like this is the part that I love. It doesn't matter what your background is, your education, where you went to school, if you went to school, how much money you made before, how much money you didn't make before. Roofing sales is like this equal level playing field of opportunity. And we talk about belonging. That's the best part, is like there's no rules. Tattooed up, casual, to the guy dressed up in slacks and a button up. And we're all out doing the same thing. We're all out in the trenches. And all of us have come to this roofing space with the shared vision of, I didn't need virtually any training, no experience needed, and I can change my life while helping people along the way and earn life-changing money. And that right there is that sense of camaraderie and community. We're all facing the same challenges in the home. And sometimes we say, well, they're coming up, this is coming up, and they're not, my competitors aren't having it. Nah. Let me tell you, from working with companies that are just starting, mid-sized companies to quite a few of the top 100 and even a few of the top 10 roofing companies in America, everybody is going through the same thing. So I wanted to share this particular video with you so you can share it with anyone on your team who's questioned their pride and their confidence in sharing what they do, who hasn't wanted to feel grouped in and categorized as door-to-door salespeople or roofing salespeople, and for folks who just haven't felt like they fit or belong. Because at the end of the day, you do belong because you are of use to someone. You have skill sets that can help someone through a situation or scenario that they don't necessarily want to go through, and you, my friend, are their guide. And I hope this video helps you change your mindset of how you talk to yourself about being worthy by being of use to someone, and how you communicate with your customers. Not by trying to tell them what's going on and make yourself look good, but by just showing them with pride and confidence your commitment to doing what's right and giving them an amazing experience, and giving them an experience that they've probably not had with any other contractor. And in doing so, what I really hope happens is two things. I hope that your confidence goes up, and what follows is the second, that your income follows. So that's all for this video, and thank you for tuning in. Listen, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, or if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. This helps me as I look through the data to say, hey, we got to do more of this or more of that. And I do have one more ask. If you can, drop a comment if this resonated with you or if it didn't. If there's things that you've dealt with or not dealt with, maybe you have some advice. What could I tell someone if I was nurturing my own little sales team? What advice would I give them when it comes to feeling proud about what you do? That's the most beautiful part about this channel, is the community and the people like you who are willing to share, collaborate, and air out the real stuff that folks just don't talk about. So thanks again for joining me today in this video, and I hope this leaves you feeling inspired, motivated, confident, and with the ability and mental mindset to earn even more so you can smash your income goal and give every customer an amazing experience. So if you haven't already done it yet, click into our free training center and get access right now, right here, or text FREE to 303-222-7133. There's a link in the description. Or YouTube thinks you're really going to like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.